Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Now, from time to time, I like to remind you folks of the absolute hypocrisy displayed by the federal government by keeping political prisoners Matt Hoover and Chris Irvin caged simply over a picture of a piece of a machine gun. Meanwhile, Elijah Navarro and Michael Wilkerson conspired to manufacture and sell a dozen actual, real-world, functioning machine guns, Glickieswichez in this case. And don't get it twisted, I assert that manufacturing machine guns at home and selling them to your neighbors is a constitutional right.
I thought this was America!
But if we're gonna lock up two political dissidents for 5 years over something that doesn't even work, then surely someone who was in the business of selling real, functioning machine guns ought to get more time, right? Anybody want to guess how much time these two losers got? Less than half of what Hoover and Irvin got. Yeah, one of them got a year and the other got a little short of 2 years. And let's add a little perspective here. Hoover and Irvin sold a symbolic product that honestly should be protected speech, but is assuredly not a machine gun. These guys had several printers and were presumably selling many other switches prior to selling to the 5-0, and this happened in Boston, where owning a handgun is just a thin red one short of illegal, so it's safe to assume many of their customers were already criminals just by possessing the handgun in the first place. So I'm asking you, does that seem right? If only there were something you could do to help Matt and Kris, right? There is! Call Pam Bondi right now at 202-514-2000 and tell her to free Matt Hoover and Chris Irvin.
Let my people go.
But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Vortex.
The proven Crossfire sight is now available in new flavors. Same great affordable bomb-proof reflex sight with a 2 MOA reticle and 50,000 hour battery life backed up by the Vortex no questions asked VIP warranty, but now it's available with a tan finish or a green dot.
And by Springfield Armory. Imagine a 9mm carbine with the roller delay action just like Kraut Space Magic. Now imagine it didn't have garbage ergonomics. The brand new Kuna from Springfield Armory gives you that roller delayed, smooth recoil you're looking for with reversible, non-reciprocating charging handle and absolutely everything. And by Aguila ammo. ARs can be hungry little beasties, but rifle ammo usually comes in boxes of 20 when standard magazines hold 30. That's dumb and it makes puppies sad. So Aguila now packages their 5.56 in 30-round boxes. It's also available in sealed plastic battle packs to keep your ammo tasting fresh for the pocky-lips. Now, I've never met this man, but I gotta say Marvin G. Richardson really looks like he's the kind of guy whose name would be Marvin. I guarantee this dude snorts when he laughs. He's been the deputy director of the ATF for quite some time, and now he has been fired too. Okay, actually he retired. Some folks get downright pedantic about colloquialisms, but he didn't really have a choice. He was shown the door, given the boot, allowed to retire, however you want to put it. But the dude won't be stinking up the building anymore.
That smell takes me back.
And if you needed any more proof that he's a turd beyond that insufferable expression, this diddle-britches bestie got a medal for aiding and abetting in the murder of women and children.
Do I know how to pick 'em?
He's also the guy who pushed for ATF's arbitrary and capricious rules on pistol braces and homemade guns. He's the guy who imposed the zero-tolerance policy, which revoked FFLs for simple typos and customer errors. He even went behind President Trump's back in the first term to meet with the Biden transition team just to get a head start on all the stepping in infringing he was looking forward to. So seeing someone like that kicked out leaves me feeling a little more comfortable about the Trump team's promises to clean house.
You're fired.
And don't forget, back in February, the DOJ fired ATF head lawyer Pam Hicks, who was also an absolute... Yeah, that's the right picture. Who was also an absolute terror, as evidenced by the utterly insane arguments made by ATF lawyers in their court cases. So hey, stuff's getting better. Perhaps no better example of the ATF's rabidly schizo lawyers is Taylor Taranto's case where they're claiming a CZ Scorpion is both a rifle and a pistol at the same time. They are also claiming it was carried both openly and concealed at the same time. To be fair, there was another handgun present, but the lawyers are specifically saying this Scorpion was both a short barrel rifle and a pistol at the same time while being carried openly and concealed at the same time. Schrodinger's weapon, I guess.
Feynman, Einstein, and Schrodinger walk into a bar.
Obvious contradictions aside, the more important issue here is that President Trump's ATF is still prosecuting people for having a pistol brace when the courts have ordered them to stop trying to enforce their ridiculous rule. Audaciously, the feds claim they're not using that rule anymore. They're just enforcing the NFA.
I was only doing my job. I heard a lot of that at Nuremberg.
If only there was something we could do. Oh wait, that number I gave you earlier. Yeah, you know what to do. Call it again, and this time tell Pam Bondi to drop the case against Taylor Taranto. Before we get to your moment of zen, I just want to share this article I came across featuring mucho hand-wringing and burl-clutching all over a billboard. So, Çanik managed to get their Mete MC9 added to the Californian not unsafe gun list, which, as I understand, isn't all that easy to do. So they put up a billboard in Oakland, and those people are going absolutely ape. One of them said she almost literally crashed out. My friends, this whole article is based on posts the reporter found on Reddit and Nextdoor, and then fretting about how people are concerned in an obvious attempt to create more concern. But I think my favorite part was where she got so close to attaining self-awareness. Exactly 44 words after noting California has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation, she admits Oakland has some of the highest gun violence in the state and the nation.
A broken clock is right 2 times a day, mon ami.
She doesn't hide which side she thinks you ought to be on either. While the handgun is technically legal, is a pretty wild way to say legal. So I emailed her to ask her why she would use such politically charged phrasing, and surprisingly, she responded quickly and agreed the language was somewhat biased and even offered her reasoning.
Well, that was not at all what I expected.
In case you missed it, this is almost unheard of in modern journalism. Now, I'm not a journalist. I am an advocate, a propagandist. But I read a lot of news articles written by people who identify as journalists, and it is disturbingly common for there to be no point of contact given at all. In the case an email address is given, I rarely receive a response in these sorts of exchanges. Even comment sections are disappearing from news sites. So, mad props to Rosalind Romero and her team. But why did she use the word technically? Well, it turns out Oakland has an ordinance prohibiting anyone from running a gun shop without a permit from the police. And some people want to use that ordinance to get the sign taken down. So her contention is that the gun is legal, but the sign might not be. That ordinance itself is likely vulnerable to 2A challenges, but more to the point, it prohibits people from engaging in the business of transferring guns without a permit. The sign is not a business and is not transferring guns, obviously. And any guns that are eventually transferred will be through a licensed dealer anyway. Now, I'm not a lawyer because my parents were married, but I doubt there is a case here. That's not to say that deep-pocket authoritarians can't engage in lawfare anyway. It's probably smarter business just to take the ad down rather than fight, even when you know you're right and you'll win. Now, for your moment of zen.
What will happen if you run diesel through a power washer? 12-volt pump hooked up right here, connected to a water hose to the electric power washer. We're going to take this butane torch, so we got our igniter, and duct tape it, right? Oh shit, it works!
Hello, friend. Do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure un-American pew? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.